guys, I'm walking on the path again, and I was trying to figure out where I was going to start with the message. And as you can see, there's two butterflies, one light, one dark. I think we've done it. The perfect balance of light and shadow. Congratulations, guys. Wow. Yeah, I was just like, how am I gonna start? Where do I want to start? And there it is. You go out in nature and you can find your sign. You can find your sign in synchronicities out here. Yeah, so I didn't post yesterday. I was feeling pretty low. I was in battle, you could say, and I feel great because I won. Yeah, so I've been really trying to bunker down on my energetic boundaries, my solar plexus, my I am me, I am do this thing, and you are trying, basically I've been getting suggestions for jobs and from my dad, and God bless my dad for trying to help me, but he will suggest like 5 different things in one conversation in quick succession, and I could just kind of get overwhelmed because he's like, I want you to try this. Holy snap, there's a snake. All right, another sign, guys. We got a black snake here. Is that a black snake? I mean, it's a black snake, but you know your snake types. Hi. Yeah. Okay, Spirit, I'm locked in. I'm tapped in, I guess. Spirit's helping me give this message. So basically, from what I was saying, it's like you could imagine that being a serpent trying to tell you, do this, do that, right? But part of our journey is tapping into our intuition, our connection with our higher self, with spirit, and figuring out what it is that we came here to do. And I've kind of had it figured out. It's just a matter of really committing and having that energetic boundary to put any other suggestions at an arm's length. That, like, thank you for suggesting those things for me, but I think I've got it from here. It's like, once you have those signs and synchronicities online, you're just pretty much getting shown where to go next. And so don't doubt that. Don't doubt that. Just gonna pause for a second. Another reason snakes might be popping up is to really symbolize that final shedding process, that final shedding of your old self. And last year, 2025, was the year of the snake, and that's pretty much what it was about. It was completion of cycles, of certain cycles, and shedding your skin. And this year is year 2026, year of the horse, but it's not just a year of the horse, it's a year of the fire horse, which is, I can't remember how many years apart they are. I think they're like 50 years or more or something. So they're not too often, but basically this is like the chariot, for in tarot terms, which I haven't drawn any tarot on this channel, but I have some cards. I have some different decks that I think I'm gonna draw from and do some readings. I feel called to do it. I hadn't pulled any cards in a while. I did some last night and I literally cried. And which means a lot, because I have I'm not very able to cry, just because I feel I've been emotionally stunted, or yeah, we'll just roll with that for a long time. And as I've gone through the healing process, you know, if you're able to cry, that's a good thing. That's release. Especially if you're able to cry tears of joy. I mean, that's even better. And I was just been going through a sort of heart activation, heart chakra, as I really just get these undeniable confirmations from God. So I've had trouble expressing love verbally, like saying I love you. I've had trouble saying that to people. And last night I was able to say, I love you, God. And even just right now, I just felt a burst of energy. Like I just felt a wave of energy just saying it right now. Through all these trials and tribulations, you know, God's there. And so's your twin, your shadow. It's Gemini season, and that's about the twin. Hold on. So yeah, when I saw those butterflies at the beginning of this, well, I was worried. I'm kind of worried. It kind of looked like they were stuck on each other. But I don't know. It kind of looked like they were fusing, which seems to symbolize the balance. I feel like I'm finally balancing my shadow with my light. A lot of people try to tell you that your shadow is bad, but you know, your shadow isn't the same as darkness. Your shadow can be used to protect your light. Yeah, I feel like I just went through a portal just saying that. And now I already made my first video dedicated, or like a shout out to Avatar Aronis, but I'm gonna shout him out again just because literally, the guy is built different. And I think he really does know the secret to resurrection magic, which is joy. And to see him post every day, like 4 or more videos every day, and he is on his A game, I just can't help but feel good. I can't help but feel good. So yeah, I was feeling pretty down, and bro has resurrected me like multiple times in the short period of time that I found his channel. So so yeah, I'm here today. I needed yesterday to kind of fight some battles. I want to say the word fight demons, but you know, even demons have redeemable qualities. You know, we all are unique and serve a purpose and serve a role. We all have our position to play. Yeah. I'm seeing cardinals. That's another sign for people. If you see a cardinal, let's see. Pause for now. So as I've started to really just open up more and more, one of my favorite things recently is interacting with people on YouTube. Since I have been kind of in hermit mode for so long, months and months on end, it gets very lonely in a way that you're forced to sit with yourself, which was good because I learned how to appreciate being alone, how to be alone without being lonely, right? Because you're never truly alone. You have the twin within, you have spirit, you have your higher self, God, you know, your angels, your spirit team, you know. You have all kinds of beings on your spirit team. I think I have a bunch of dragons on mine. I think I have a bunch of dragons. My dog, is that engine revving for confirmation? I've been seeing my dog and my third eye from the grave. Yeah. Where was I going with this? Let me pull it back in. I was in hermit mode for so long, and one of the things I like about opening up, one of the things I've been doing is communicating with others on YouTube just by leaving a like and commenting on people's videos. I used to not do that. I used to not leave any comments. I've been using YouTube for, I don't know, almost 20 years or something as a consumer. It's been a long time. So that's a long time to like not leave a comment, right? Like, oh, I'm just gonna watch. I'm not gonna participate. I don't want to be seen, you know. Because for a long time, it's like I was living and operating in a way where if someone didn't show me a way of being like then I wouldn't know about it. And when you get to a point where you can receive that light, where you can get that Christ, highest Christed light. You can just just saying that felt like a portal, because I just felt like I went somewhere else. Wow, yeah, I really forgot where I was for a moment there. Yeah, I've been really enjoying communicating with people. And just like, you can make a difference. You can leave a comment. You can say something really nice. And whenever I get a reply from a creator, I get really giddy inside. Like, I just interacted with someone. Which helps me also realize that, I'm not alone. I mean, I wasn't alone, but this is further proof, further evidence. I can interact with people from my house using the internet, There's a lot of detriment to society from social media, for sure. But what the allure, what we all came for, was to connect with others. Got a bug flying in my face, so someone's bugging. Someone's bugging, I don't know. Or they don't want me to say that, or you can interpret that as one of you has someone bugging you. Perhaps. What else? What else we got today? Well, while I think, I'll just say that, yeah, I plan to do some card pulling. Maybe I'll throw in more magic cards, or maybe I'll get more, I should still have a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. But yeah, you can divinate with anything. It's true. When you're tapped in, I mean, that's like how signs and synchronicities work in general. I find angel numbers to work really well. Feathers on the ground, they'll just appear. You got to go outside. So hopefully you live somewhere where you can go out in nature. That'd be ideal. Another thing that really got me was, on my other channel, I do music stuff, like music production. And, well, let's just say I've posted some videos on there, but making this channel for channeling spirit has kind of given me the spark, that divine spark, to kind of go ahead and, kind of develop that channel into what it's supposed to be, which, last video on there, I announced I released an album. It's yeah, and that I want to start a series where I show that you can make music. Anyone can make music, and I'll show you how, and I'll convince you that you should. You should make music. if you want to express, you should express yourself, you know. If you want to use a different format or medium, then go ahead. I think one day I'll probably try to write a book. If you want to draw or paint or pottery or whatever kind of form, art form, where you can express yourself. And on that note, don't limit it to a normalized art form. You can make up an art form. You can make up new magic. You can make up new frequencies. That's one of the biggest messages I can give you, is the limitations of this matrix will keep you in a box. So yeah, you can learn about the matrix so you can break out of it. It's kind of like you got to know the rules so you can break them. Yeah, so what else to say about that? Your thoughts manifest your reality. Your thoughts manifest your reality. I'm starting to understand what they mean by fake it till you make it. If you act the way you want to be now, act as if it's done, and you sort of just, you know, you're playing pretend in your mind. If you do that long enough, you're teaching your body to follow suit. So so if you're trying to make a change, you can just do your best to imagine what that feels like, and try to embody that feeling, and try to, you know, in the mental realm, you'll try to pretend to think that way until your nervous system is kind of, you know, after a while your nervous system will overwrite its current operation, mode of operation with those thoughts, and it will start to remember and realize that, like, it's okay to operate this way. You know, you kind of got to convince your body, your nervous system, that it is safe to act in this way and to think this way, you know? Yeah, and that's like the root. It's like root chakra, feeling safe in your own body, feeling safe to do as such. And the sacral chakra would be the creativity to do so, and the lack of shame. No shame. That there isn't a shame in expressing yourself in a certain way. Confirmation burp. You know, you're here to be you, and so part of the self-actualization process is that's the next step, is to feel no shame in being creative enough to be yourself. That creation magic from source channeled through you. You know, we got another snake here. Or is this skin? Is that the guy? Bro is chilling. Alright, well, I'm gonna go around him. See you, snake. He was so still. He was so still I couldn't tell if he had shedded his skin or not. Which is kind of like my shadow to me. My shadow, if I'm the light, my shadow, or I am the shadow, I am the light. You know, and they have a conversation with each other. The conversation was like, bro, did you shed your skin? You were so still. You were so still, I couldn't tell. You know, so once you make that move, you'll know. But yeah, well, so root chakra, gotta feel safe enough to embody the new way of operating. Sacral chakra, that creation magic, that self-expression, that shamelessness to be yourself. Solar plexus, to kind of affirm that identity that is you, the identity you have on earth in this lifetime. To have that energetic boundary, to say yes to what is in alignment and say no to what is not in alignment, and that it is okay to tell people no. And those three lower chakras are the basis. That's the foundation, the firm foundation. 1, 2, 3. Lucky number 3. And you'll find that I've been going through heart activations, and I felt like my solar plexus was maybe my weaker chakra. So, you know, it's not like the map of the 7 main chakras is like in order. I've been using the map of the 7 main chakras since I kind of had this level of awakening. There's always more levels to it. Always something new to learn. And one of those things is the 7 main chakras. I found it to be a very helpful map of energy and how to think and feel and how to navigate this matrix. How to navigate my life on earth. And no chakra is more important than another. It's not a hierarchy, even though there's a direction of up and down. That's like, you know, we're like an antenna, and there's a base of the antenna, and then there's the top of the antenna. So yeah, they might not activate for you in a specific order. And if you've never heard of them, I'll list them out. It's the base or root chakra, which is down, at the base of your torso, in your private area. The sacral chakra is just below your navel. Solar plexus is about the center of your torso, somewhere, or a little bit lower, kind of like in the middle. Heart chakra, you know, where your heart is. If you go out, there's throat chakra, third eye, and crown chakra for the 7 main. And there are technically like a lot of chakras if you want to get into, I haven't looked at them, but there's like a lot of minor ones throughout your body. But these 7 main ones, what's cool is they are also linked to certain organs or glands in your body. And I guess the last thing I'll say about those, because if you're interested, I would have to do more research to give a more detailed talk on those. There's a lot of people who talk about them online if you want, but I can, if you like the way that I talk about it, I can go ahead and research that so I can speak on it more clearly. But the last thing I'll say is the way that the chakras can get blocked. And I was kind of hinting at this earlier. The root chakra is about, or it gets blocked with fear. So if you don't feel safe, if you don't feel safe, it's gonna cause a blockage in your root. The sacral chakra, if you feel shame, that's gonna block that one. Solar plexus is, I'll have to review it again. I've seen it as hate. I've seen hate being the block, which from an elemental perspective makes sense. I've also been studying the elements. So fire, earth, water, air. Of course, the 5th element is source or aether. And the reason hate would be what blocks the solar plexus. The solar plexus would be associated with the element of fire. And hate is kind of the last resort for the element of fire to energetically protect you. When the element of fire is more balanced, it's you're able to set and hold boundaries in a healthy way. Which can be kind of hard without certain other chakras online. You know, they kind of work together, right? I would think you would need to have enough heart chakra activation to love one another and enough throat chakra activation to speak those boundaries. But anyways, fire, the element of fire, hate is that last ditch effort to protect you. Which, yeah, it's like if the scale is tipped all the way, that's an unbalanced solar plexus. Heart chakra. The heart chakra is unbalanced or is blocked with grief. And there might be more than one way to describe these chakras and what blocks them, but this is at least one way to think about them. The heart chakra is blocked with grief. And that's why forgiveness is the key on that one. I was sent into hermit mode because of grief, really. And I basically I had a lot of my chakras turned off, and I just felt, I had fear, I had shame, I had hate, grief, I had all those. I had to learn how to activate all of my chakras again. I had to build back on a firm foundation. And it took so long to figure out how to forgive. But, like they say, we are all one. Other people are just different expressions of you, of God. Like, we're all individual expressions of that same source, right? So when they say you have to learn how to love yourself to love another, it's like, yeah, you have to, in other words, you have to be able to forgive yourself to reopen your heart chakra. To be able to, once you forgive yourself, you become able to forgive others. Once you forgive yourself, you're able to forgive others. In other words, whenever you are able to love yourself, you're able to love others. And it's really yourself. They are yourself. It's the same thing. With the throat chakra is blocked by telling lies, by not telling the truth. And so you can start to see how the balance of the chakras is to balance the light and the darkness. So to just be a bold-faced liar all the time is to completely delve into the shadow side. I don't think you should lie. You could probably come up with an example where lying is going to be helpful. If it somehow is going to save a life or something, you can see how using your shadow can protect your light or protect someone's light. But in general, each of these chakras, light and dark, it's like a dimension, left and right, up, down, cold, hot. And what blocks a chakra is one direction, what unblocks it is the other direction. Kind of. It is kind of like that. Because on one hand, a completely open heart chakra would love, and like in an ideal utopia, you wouldn't have to grieve. So that idea is, I'll leave that idea up for thought, for meditation on how that would work. But so I'll stick to what blocks the chakras, and lies, not speaking the truth. If you've not integrated your shadow enough, it's hard to speak truly sometimes. And you can feel it when you've cultivated your intuition. You can feel that. They talk about feeling it in your gut, your intuition. You can feel a bad feeling when you have to lie. And it's almost like on reflex, it's not like, if you're like me, it's not like you want to lie. But your body If your body enters flight or fight on a given moment, it might resort to telling a lie for protection. If you feel unsafe, or the negative side of any of those chakras, your shadow side of your throat chakra might activate. The third eye is about illusions. Illusions distort and block your third eye. That's why when you get rid of illusions, you can see clearly. This one's harder to talk about from my own experience. So if there's other folks on YouTube that talk about third eye, I would look into that. Because that's one, it's kind of a difficult one to talk about. Yeah. But illusions are what cloud it. And then there's the crown chakra, which is blocked by attachment. And this is kind of what people talk about when they try to say you should meditate, and or like in Buddhist practicing non-attachment. But what I wanted to say about that was, it feels like in Buddhism there's like an extreme, like they take it to the extreme where like you shouldn't be attached to anything. But to me, that feels like very cranked up to the max on the other side, like activated all the way, never be attached to anything. Feels like unbalanced to me if you're trying to balance the light and the shadow. Because it's like, I'll talk about how I keep talking about trying to enter a new mode of operation, of trying to change and do something new and better yourself. And part of what holds you back is attachment to your old self. It's that attachment to that old self, that safety you feel. You've convinced your body that's safe. The new thing you're trying to be, your body hasn't tested it yet. It doesn't know it's safe. It's like, let's go with the safe option. Why are you providing an unsafe option? And that's your survival mechanism. So about attachment, for that, you have to be able to detach from your old self. But like when you move into your new self, you should attach as far as grabbing on to it enough to confirm that mode and hold on to it. It's just like once that mode of operation is done, like your previous mode was done, then let go. It's like, here's this, I'm gonna grab onto it, I'm done with it, let go. Grab the new one, done with it, let go. So I guess you have to figure out how to detach. And that's why I guess the Buddhist practice would be maybe a way to figure out how to detach. But then integrating that into a practice in daily life in the world, you can figure out how to attach and detach when needed. And yeah, that's how it is. And I think that's when you start, that's like how you're starting to get those messages is through the crown chakra. So, and maybe seeing them, maybe that's what the third eye is about, is being able to see them, read them. So yeah, I'll pause there for now. All right, just got back to the car from the walk, and so I'm gonna go home and try to post this video, and later I will do some card readings. I'll try to post one of those today. And we'll see which decks I use. I have a couple different kinds, tarot and whatnot, oracle decks, and you know, we'll see. I try to be intuitively guided, divinely guided when I give those. You know, it's a message channeled from spirit. So be on the lookout for that video later tonight. See you guys. Love you and have a good day.